Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm hoping you're having a great day. Right now we're cutting some hay, specifically Timothy, and I switched my dad off at around 12 o'clock, and I'm going to be cutting until supper, until someone else switches me off. So we've got a few hours to do some work. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get started. Like I said before, we're cutting Timothy right now. This is one of our Timothy fields. It's probably one of our roughest ones because the gophers are relentless out here. Unfortunately, we can never seem to get them under control. It's a decently tall crop this year. I mean, I'm able to go about 4 miles an hour, which is pretty good. But the weather has been weird this year. We had a very dry spring. Those who seeded early were really starting to hurt in the spring. But it's been a reversed year with the weather. We've had a dry spring and a really wet summer, which is why we're cutting hay so late now, is because we just couldn't get out into the field here. Whenever we thought about cutting hay, sure enough, 4 days later in the forecast, there was going to be a bunch of rain. And unfortunately, we just can't cut hay in that weather. But like I said before, very dry spring until we got a dump of 3 inches on us. 3 to 4 actually. And honestly, that saved everyone. Like, our pastures went from dry and brown to tall green stuff that was actually growing in really good for the cows. But yeah, completely different year from what it is normally. I think my dad was saying that it's not as bad as the summer of 2002, where we were still cutting by July 31st. Don't get me wrong, we're pretty close to July 31st, but we're not there yet. And again, that was another wet year. But hey, literally, late moisture is better than no moisture, so can't be complaining about that. But yeah, really nice crop of Timothy here. And even our alfalfa is doing really good too. You know, it's a crazy thought to me that when our grandparents were farming, they didn't have anything. They didn't have AC, they didn't have radios. All they had was the roar of the engine and the scenery. And most of the time, no roof shielding them from the sun. So they just had the sun roasting on them all day, every day. You know, out of all of the equipment type jobs on the farm, I think cutting hay is probably my favorite. The smell of the fresh cut grass, seeing all the grass just blow in the wind, it's just really relaxing. That's when it all goes right. Like, just by seeing all the grass sway in the wind, it's literally just like looking at an ocean of green. I don't know, that's just my favorite part though. Let me know, what is your favorite piece of equipment to run and why? Or what is your favorite job on the farm? Because I also really enjoy calving season. Yeah, the weather has been really weird this spring and summer. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm really thankful for the moisture that we've had, but we've had to wait a long time to do first cut of Timothy. Like, just a few days ago, we got another inch, maybe a little over an inch, and we had to wait for that to clear up before we started cutting. But overall, that inch soaked in really well. We actually got new crimpers on this disc vine, and it has cut down our drying time by a day or two at least, which is super helpful in the type of weather that we've been having lately. Like, there's a chance of rain in the forecast for next week, but we were like, we really gotta get this hay cut. We just can't wait around any longer, because the longer we wait, the more protein we lose. So we're just risking it, but that's the majority of farming for you. But overall, it's been a pretty good year. You can't complain too much. Anyways, by having a lot of this rain, it's given us a lot of time to catch up on some things that we've been putting off for a while. So other than being a little late on cutting hay, you really can't complain about how the year has been. Now, unfortunately, that's not the case for everyone, but farming is extremely dependent on the weather. So like I said before, it's just one big risk. Not sure if you can see over there, but there's a coyote. There's a coyote there. I'm curious, if you have cows and calves, how often do the coyotes bug your calves? Because over in my area, they seem much ignore the cattle, like throughout the year. Like we just had our last calf last week, and we may or may not have one more on the way, but honestly, I don't think she's pregnant. But even when we're calving this late into the year, the coyotes don't seem to bug our calves at all, which is a good thing. But I'm curious, how often do the coyotes in your area bug your calves? Or just any animals in general? Could be chickens, it could be pigs. I'm just curious on how often the coyotes bug your livestock. Because we don't really have a problem with any coyotes or anything around here. On a completely different note, I started to work out, and yesterday was more leg day than anything. And let me tell you, it was a mistake doing leg day yesterday, because we had to bleed brakes in one of our trucks, and that was painful. So a little bit of regret, but you know what? Push through it. We got the brake split. So, and hey, those brakes in that truck works better than they ever have. So, because brakes are kind of an important thing, right? Maybe. Yeah, I think they're important. But I really don't know what piece of workout equipment I'm supposed to get next. So if you have any suggestions, please comment below. Because right now I have a barbell, few weights, and then a power cage. It's pretty much the gist of the main equipment I have right now. If you have any suggestions, please let me know what to get next. Well, we're not the only ones cutting. The neighbors over there are also cutting. I see that the Hutterites are also cutting hay over there. So we've got 3 disc bunts in roughly the same area. Alright, I guess there's 2 over there instead of 1. And then there's 1 over there. So I guess there's 4 disc bunts out in this area. We've got Hutterites over there, neighbor over there, and we got ourselves over here. So in case if it does rain next week, I guess 3 people will be out of luck. Hopefully it doesn't rain though. I gotta say, it is nicer knowing that you're getting closer to the center of the field, because every time you take a pass, they get shorter and shorter each time. We got a fair bit done today. I would have liked to get a little bit more done today, but it's been just one of those days where you feel like you should have gotten more done than you actually did. Even though you know you're being productive, you just feel like you should have done more today. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get switched off for supper, so I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.